Shalom. I like to say all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Kodesh. Double honors unto the apostles and elders of GMS, who are the true leaders of Israel today. And salutations to my Akim, who do this work in truth and sincerity, who are risking their lives and their freedoms to do so, as well as the scattered Israelites who come looking like the heathen but are not, by way of their forefathers' seeds who are Israelite men. The true name of the Most High is Yahweh, and his son's name is Yahushai. And the Lord's holy chosen people are the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, as we are the ones who suffer under the curses in the book of Deuteronomy. This is your brother Akali from the GMS Jamaica Kingston camp, and this video is about the prophecy of famine. Alright, which this is a major prophecy that is coming, man. Okay, because man, the famine is going to cause a lot of chaos around the world. Because especially over here in the West, people haven't really experienced famine in the way that the famine will be coming, man. The judgment set by Yahweh Shemeshai. Okay, the famine is going to get so bad that cannibalism is coming back. Okay, well, coming back. Cannibalism is already here. You know, when you know about how the wicked elite of Esau, Edom work and things like that. But I mean on a mass scale by all sorts of people, all sorts of nations. Alright, the cannibalism is coming. And this famine, man, is really set for your destruction, you wicked Israelites, man. Alright, it is going to contribute very greatly to the time of Jacob's trouble. And the famine is going to play a major role in you feeling that immense pressure, man, all right, to convince yourself to take in that microchip, which is the mark of the beast. All right, this devil is intentionally, and when I say devil, I'm talking about the so-called white man, the Edomites. All right, they are intentionally putting your people's backs against the wall, man. Okay. And so their saying goes, order ab chaos, order out of chaos. All right. Pressure from above, pressure from below. All these things. Now, here's a video done by an what's his name? Aharon Amathba. And I watched this video earlier. It says CNN raises eyebrows with dystopian report. The famines have already begun. And it's true, man. You know, these prophecies have started. They just haven't hit a certain level of their fulfillment. But we are at the beginning stages of the famine. You know, in Matthew chapter 24, it talks about the times that we're in. Matthew 24, Salakio, and verse 6, and ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. And we've heard all of the wars and rumors of wars, man. All right, countless examples. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places. And we're seeing the earthquakes. We've seen famine happen in certain places like Venezuela over there in Africa as well. They have certain levels of famine over there. The pestilences. One pestilence is that the poultry over there in Europe were being taken by storm, man. Storm, you know? Like they've been wiped out, you know? Which actually reduces the food supply regarding that, which then contributes to the famine, all right? Which is simply trickling in. And there are other examples as well, you know? All these are the beginning of sorrow. So we're at this period of time, man, the beginning of sorrows, all right? And it's going to be very sorrowful, these times that we're coming into, man. Okay? Because it's going to get so bad out there in regards to Jacob's trouble that the elect will have to be saved in such a dramatic manner, man. All right? Daniel chapter 12 verse 1, and at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince, which standeth for the children of thy people, and there shall be a time of trouble such as never was since there was a nation. And we, as a nation, the Israelites, we have gone through a lot of hell, man. But this one that is coming is going to be the worst. So you can only imagine what it's going to be like, man. Actually, you can't fathom it, man. Because we read the scriptures and, when it happens, it's going to, wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times and strength of salvation. We'll understand what's going on, but it's going to be chaotic out here, man. All right? And it is only the Spirit of Yahweh Shemeshah that will be able to hold us in these days that are coming. If that Spirit is not with you, and if you don't have that spiritual mark, which is that Thawah, written about in Ezekiel chapter 9 and verse 4, you through. And at that time, thy people shall be delivered, every one that shall be found written in the book, which is talking about the elect, man. All right, but the times that are coming are going to be so awful. Okay, you have in the book of 2nd Ezra, just to further bolster my point, chapter 16 and verse 17. And this is Ezra when he saw the vision, man. Woe is me, who will deliver me in those days? And Ezra, this was a completely different time in the history of this earth, man. When Ezra was walking on the earth, the men were more like men. You see, these days, in this final captivity, man, we're at our absolute weakest state that we've ever been in. Ezra and the men of that time were far more accustomed to seeing certain death and certain bloodshed and having a certain level of masculinity upon them, But even when he saw this vision is to come, right, he said, woe is me, who will deliver me in those days? The beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of wars, and the power shall stand in fear, the beginning of evils. What shall I do when these evils shall come? Behold, the famine and plague, tribulation and anguish are sent as scourges for amendment. And man, the famine, the plague, the tribulation, the anguish, the pain, the torture, all of these things are coming, man. The time of great tribulation. And they're sent for scourges, as scourges for amendment, as a correction unto our people, man. Okay? And we're all going to be feeling this on some kind of level, even the elect, but the elect will be protected overall, man. Okay? We're going to be affected by whatever it is that's going on in the world. But the elect shall scarcely be saved. The righteous, it says, I believe, shall scarcely be saved. Okay? But this famine is coming in hot and heavy, man. And so I'll just bring out a few little article examples from RT. Shelves stripped bare across UK as Brits rushed to panic buy ahead of Christmas. And that's talking about also other things besides the food. Okay? Well, the grocer were worried or very worried at the prospect of food and drink shortages over Christmas. Yeah. But it's not only the food that's being that is experiencing shortages. They're having shortages for other things. You see the soaring gas prices because of the shortages for that. You have other basic essentials that are having shortages. Things like that, man. Let's see. All right. Cost of food. From RT, cost of food in the world rising at fastest pace in 40 years. So that's the inflation. All right. So the inflation affects your purchasing power. You're able to buy less food. Then the food is being short. You are having shortages of food. So then only a certain class of people will be able to purchase the food. When it is that another class of people cannot purchase the food, or they're running out of food, or they can't feed families, then they lose their jobs over whatever situation that's going on. Y'all know what that is. And all these kinds of things, it's going to create more tension, and it's going to lead to chaos, because people eventually, they're not going to be sitting down there just dying of hunger. They're going to make a move. All right. High food prices from RT again are here to stay from Kraft Heinz. All right. So consumers will have to get used to increasing food prices as shaken economies and the global energy crunch have placed an enormous burden on the world's food producers, right? Kraft Heinz has reportedly increased prices for more than half of its products in the US, the company's home market, and expects to do elsewhere. Okay. Global food prices to a 10-year high. Cereals and oils, cost of ingredients, all these things, man. We're in this time. From the dailymail.co.uk, Walmart and Costco limit toilet paper sales, while toy companies warn parents their kids' Christmas gifts won't arrive in time thanks to backlog at ports, rail yards, and on the roads, right? So the backlogs is affecting the supply chain as well. Supply chain problems that have been tormenting retailers for months are showing up in America's stores. Around the country, there are shortages of goods on shelves in Target, Costco, Home Depot, and Sears. The issues aren't specific to any one type of good and are down to problems with shipping and distribution, so everything's been affected. Cargo ships can't get into overworked ports to drop off goods and are hovering off the coast. There is global shortage in truck drivers, which is stalling distribution of goods, and railroads are also jammed. The cost of shipping a single container from China to LA reached $20,000 last month, 4 times what it cost last October. There are fears that some of the backed up ships at the ports in LA will not be emptied before Black Friday, the biggest retail day of the year and the start of the Christmas shopping season. Some retailers are telling people to buy Christmas gifts now to ensure they arrive on time. Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome predicts the issues will last until next year, which will prolong inflation. And that's the summary for this article, man. All right, so one more from Reuters. So you can see what the trend is, right? There will be things that people can't get at Christmas, White House warns. White House officials scrambling to relieve global supply bottlenecks choking U.S. ports, highways, and railways warn that Americans may face higher prices and some empty shelves this Christmas season. All right, so it's like all things, man, all things. This thing ain't things ain't going to go back to how you knew it. Things ain't going to go back to so-called normal or anything like that, man. All right, the prophecies are here and they're moving full speed. The 2nd Ezra chapter 6 verse 22. And suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown, the full storehouses shall be found empty. And we're starting to see this prophecy come being fulfilled, man. Okay? And the trumpet shall give a sound, which when every man heareth, they shall be suddenly afraid. At that time shall friends fight one against another like enemies. So as I mentioned before, it's going to get to that point, man. People are going to be fighting and whatever else, People are going to be affected earlier than other people, but those people ain't just going to sit around and just be affected. They're going to have to make moves. They're going to feel like they have no other choice, so they're going to do what they are going to do. And the earth shall stand in fear with those that dwell therein. The springs of the fountain shall stand still, and in 3 hours they shall not run. And that's talking about a famine of water as well. So it's going to be a famine of food, water, essential things are going to be not found as readily. And then at the end of the day, okay, they're going to be like, you need to take this microchip in order to gain access to all these things, which is the mark of the beast. All right, so it's all in the plans of the wicked elite of Esau, Edom, but ultimately it's the plans of Yahweh Shemeshai to tear down this vile, abominable, disgusting kingdom, man. And so we're at the end. All right, we really are. And the time is short. Lord willing. So that I like to say all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh Shemeshai, Bashar Makah Kodesh. Wa abad babal shalom.